Hey all you beautiful people, welcome back to Let's Do a Thing. My name is Nathan and today we're going to be doing a thing with greens. Greens! That's right, salads. Don't turn off, I know, it sounds boring, but it's going to be delicious. And it's pretty simple too. I think you guys are going to like it, just stick with me and give it a chance, okay? Let's get set up. Okay, so we're going to do a Mediterranean salad today, or a Mediterranean style, but we're going to start with the dressing. And this is quick, simple dressing. Nothing fancy about it. We're just going to take 2/3 of a cup of olive oil in a little mason jar. You can use a squeeze bottle if you've got one. I've got half a cup red wine vinegar. I've got 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And in this guy right here, I've got my spices. I've got a teaspoon of oregano, a teaspoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to put it all in the jar and shake it up. You can go without the Dijon mustard, but it is a great emulsifier. If you don't have it, you can still use it. It just won't come together nearly as easily as this one will. If you don't have a mason jar, you can always use a blender or anything like that. That'll help a lot. We're going to toss this in. Put on our lid, shake the heck out of it. It doesn't take very much either, you gotta tighten the lid down there. And that's your dressing. Now that this is set up, we're gonna put this in the fridge, let it rest, and we're gonna start prepping our vegetables. Okay, so we've got all our veggies here. I've got some fresh vegetables that I picked up from a local farmer's market. I've got a cucumber, a beef tomato, a nice big avocado, shallot, some Kalamata olives, and some feta cheese. If you don't like feta, you don't have to put it on there, but it does help. You might be able to substitute with another kind of crumbly cheese. Tinker with your own recipes, but this is how I like this recipe personally. So what we're going to do is we're going to bust out Old Rochelle here, and if you ever want to be named after anything in our kitchen, head over to our Patreon and you'll figure out how. But we're going to go ahead and set this to the side. We're going to prep these vegetables. My biggest pet peeve with most salads is when you get like a whole quarter of a tomato or a whole slice of cucumber. Like, that's the only thing you're going to be able to put in your mouth. So make sure to cut your vegetables thin. Second is things that have a lot of liquid in them, go ahead and de-seed these. Yes, you're going to lose a little bit, but it also helps it from being a really watery, kind of gross salad. Because the more moisture you introduce to these leaves, it just kind of makes them wilt and soggy, and it's just not as good. It also waters down your dressing, which nobody is a fan of. We'll go ahead and start prepping. And we'll go ahead and start with our cucumber. Honestly, you can use as much of this as you'd like. I like about 1.5 cucumbers. So we'll cut these into half. So this is what I'm talking about. These seeds here, I mean, that is, in fact, I'll just show you. Look at how wet that is. Like, all of that would be in your salad. Ew. And we just don't want that. So we're going to go ahead and scrape out the seeds, throw them some places for your animals to find later. But man, this smells so good. There's something about fresh produce. This time of year, if you can get it, man, this is the best time to have salads. So we're going to cut these in half and then again into quarters. Careful, these guys are slippery. Make sure to work on your knife skills here. And again, we're going to cut these small because nobody wants huge chunks of vegetables in a bite of a complete salad, at least. You want it to be a good mix of things. You want the flavors to balance in each bite. And you guys just have to watch me do this. I know. This is the thrilling content that you subscribe for. Again, no one's here. I'm just talking to myself. So, get a good tomato. if this is not in season, where you can't find a tomato that is plump, ripe, juicy, don't use it. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say the thing that you shouldn't say. Don't use out of season tomatoes. They're gross, they're mealy, they don't have any flavor. Ugh. Just don't even bother with it. And see, this is the part we're trying to get rid of, is this inner bit, all this moisture right here. So again, we're just gonna take our little bowl and scrape off the majority of those seeds on the inside. This is also a good thing to do with sauces, if you're gonna make a sauce. Get a lot of those seeds and that middle jelly stuff out. Okay, we're gonna try to go the same size as the cucumbers. Obviously, because these aren't exactly square, you're not gonna get all the same size. But just try to keep it roughly the same size. Also, if you have a serrated knife, use that. If you have a real sharp knife, I prefer a sharp knife. A lot of people will tell you to use a serrated knife on tomatoes. I disagree, but you have to have a very sharp knife. Okay, so it's up to you how much shallot you want to use. If you don't want to use shallot, you can use red onion. It's kind of up to you, or any other type of onion, I suppose. Maybe little pearls. That might not be bad. Your call. I like shallot. I think it's a nice mild flavor most of the time. This one is, I made this a couple nights ago, and these shallots have a little bit of boom boom pow behind them. That's what happens when you get stuff fresh from the farmer's market. But look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. I like to slice mine nice and thin. That way we don't get any huge chunks of onion. That's another personal pet peeve of mine. Again, it's up to you how much you want to use, but I like them nice and thin like that. They'll break apart when you start mixing them up. And now, look at this freaking avocado. That is beautiful. I think they brought this up from Texas recently, but again, it's up to you if you want to use them or not. Hey, look at that. So, really important tip when getting this out, don't do this. That's a bad idea. Tuck your fingers down like this and just go. Notice how far up I am on the knife, and give it a little. Then just like we did the potatoes, push on the top, it'll pop right out. Now we're going to scoop these out. You can go ahead and do this in the husk if you want. Just cut it with a butter knife, put little lines in it, and then pop it out. It's just as easy for me to put it on the cutting board and do it. Doesn't take much persuasion to cut through these either. These are perfectly ripe. Okay, that is the basis for starting all these. All we're going to do now is toss in, I've got half a cup of Kalamata Olives, and these have a beautiful punch. If you've never tried them before, man, they're good. You should definitely give these a try. Even if you don't like olives, I'm not a huge olive fan, but these things. So we're going to toss those in. I mean, look at the colors in there. And then again, I've got half a cup of feta. We're going to go ahead and toss that in. I know. And already this looks like a salad you want to eat, right? I know. So we'll go ahead and toss this a little bit. Get these guys kind of mingled. You can salt this if you want, but do remember we've already salted our dressing and peppered it. And this smells so good. My wife tries to get me to eat healthy all the time, and this is definitely one of those dishes that I don't mind making to eat healthy. So that's kind of what we're going to end with here. I've got some fresh vegetables, some fresh greens from the farmer's market as well that we're going to pull out and go ahead and dress our salad a little bit and start getting this thing ready to plate. Check out this big old bowl of salad greens. Like I said, I've got this from a local farmer's market. They've got all sorts of beautiful red cabbage in here, arugula, some stuff that I'm not even sure. There's spinach in there. Just a big old bowl of deliciousness. What we're going to go ahead and do is dress just a little bit. You always want to underdress your salad because some people may not like it like as much dressing. I mean, even though I know where I'm from, people really like dressing. And I'm sorry it's not ranch, but we're going to try something a little different this time. Always underdress it, that way people can dress it as they'd like. we're just going to pour a little bit on. And if you haven't perfected the flipping of salad yet, like I haven't apparently, you should give it a try. This is fun. Unless you make a huge mess, then your wife is going to come after you. But look at that. Look how quickly that coated. We're going to plate this. We'll be right back. Okay, pretty bowl. Big bowl that, you know, this is what I'd eat my salad out of personally. And I'm not joking. My wife's seen me do it. I've eaten out of just a big old plain mixing bowl. Put some of this on top. This is a great way just to serve at a party. They'll be like, ooh, what is this? Oh, it's a delicious salad. Lisa. And we're going to top this. A little bit more of our dressing. And that's Mediterranean style salad here. It's delicious, it's easy, it's quick, it packs a ton of flavor. This is even easy to make into like a vegan style dish as well. You can substitute the feta for vegan feta or just completely omit it altogether. It's up to you, but it is one of the dishes that you can do that with. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'd like to say thank you for all the support. If you really did enjoy, please consider subscribing, liking. To all my subscribers, I would like to say thank you so much. Thank you for the subscriptions. Thank you for liking the videos. You truly are the best people. Until next time, go do a thing. Are we recording?
Yes. Yes. Well, that's the